Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Adam RPG with me, Bring It On. Let's talk to this fine gentleman here. You see a well-built man sipping beer from a tall, frosty glass. His slightly crazy smile and weird goggles suggest he has stories to tell. And judging by the ammunition belts crisscrossing his chest, alongside various harnesses and holsters, you'd better mind your manners or it might be the last conversation you have. Hi, youngster. Have you come to hear my stories or just to chat? Haha. The man suddenly gives you a piercing look and taps a finger against his grenade amulet. Whatever it is, I strongly advise against making me angry. This grenade is real, you know. I might use it if need be. And goodbye, everybody. Ha! Why are you covered in sweat all of a sudden? I was joking. Maybe. I kindly ask you to refrain from using any grenades in my emporium. There's a precedent for such behavior. The onlookers had a lot of fun, sure, but took me a whole month to sweep up all the bone fragments. Don't panic. There won't be anything like this. Am I right? Yeah, I want to ask you a couple of questions. The man crosses his legs and leans back. The flimsy bench creaks under his weight. Ask. I love sharing my experience. I consider it an investment in the future. The more beginners I teach now, the fewer idiots I'll have to rescue from mutant beasts in the ruins later. What's your name, comrade? The man gives your hand a hard squeeze. They call me Patrick. Patrick the Psycho. If you hear someone refer to me as the White Wolf or the Mutant Hammer, just ignore them. Those are nicknames from my past. Ahem. Got it. Pleasure to meet you, Patrick. Another question. Ask away. How do you earn your living? By all this. The man opens his arms, as if to embrace the wasteland itself. I feel like I was meant for this world, for the apocalypse. Before the war, I couldn't settle on one job. And after, I did well as a stalker, worked as a mercenary, and even restored civilization to a certain area. A village called Patrick's Land. Pay a visit if you're ever out east. I'm pretty sure that's where Trudegrad takes place, is to the east. I wonder if we'll run across old Patrick's Land. I can see you're a professional survivor. Another question. Sure. You said you were interested in ruins. Ruins, drains, bunkers, all the places where the treasures of the old world are hidden have a special place in my heart, until I raid them, and they swiftly fade from my memory. Hee hee. You're a sly guy. Another question. Don't be shy, ask. Have you heard any rumors? The locals told me that a former apprentice of mine, Rivlin from Silesia, has been acclaimed the best mutant hunter in the neighborhood. What can I say? I'm proud of him. I just wish he didn't drink so much of his mutagens. That's his pet name for vodka. Yeah, he's got a bad habit. He doesn't even require good company to go on a binge. The famous Rivlin is your apprentice? Wow, another question. Let's change the subject. As you wish. Speaking of your stories. The man moves closer to you, studies your face, and grins insanely. Hee hee. It's nice being in a place where no one's heard of my adventures. I'm a celebrity back where I'm from, and everyone there knows my stories by heart. Here I can always find a willing ear. All in all, I saw many wonders and was able to leave with my life every time. I survived the atomic battery, Barzakan's gang, and the Vorkuta anomaly. Tell me about the atomic battery. Once when I was a stalker, a rich scientist hired me to gather a long list of different artifacts from the wasteland. At first, I thought he was planning to assemble a computer with an unusual aerodynamic case. The penny dropped when I was plotting to meet him, with a lump of spent uranium in a lead case. This fruitcake was planning to build a miniature nuclear bomb. I never turned up at the meeting. The Earth has suffered enough of these bombs. Tell me about Barzakan's gang. Far across the sea, in the southern lands, there was a warrior and religious leader called Barzakan. He gathered thousands of people around himself and converted them to his faith. He was planning to attack this part of the wasteland with his horde, but there was one weak spot he left in his religious book. I presume to make his teachings more plausible. If a man came who could still kill an elk, a lion, and an exotic panda in a fistfight, Barzakan himself would have to bow to him, it said. Well, I put 2 horseshoes on my old boxing gloves and accepted the challenge. After Barzakan's public execution, when the horde made me their leader, I ordered them to live in peace. I hope they obeyed. Tell me about the Vorkuta anomaly. When I was young, I traveled to Vorkuta. Brr. I can still feel the cold when I think of it. To make a long story short, I saw one of those super deep holes drilled back in Soviet times for research. Do you know what I'm talking about? A vertical shaft about 50 kilometers down to the Earth's core. We got in a fight with the guys who ran the local ironworks. Eventually they caught me and threw me down that shaft, to avenge half their gang perishing by my hand. Remember struggling against my captors all the way to the edge of that giant hole. Nothing but blackness below. Falling, screaming with my lungs out, and then boom. I came to in the taiga alone, missing my left boot, 100 kilometers away. Was it teleportation? My guardian angel? Or some exotic mushroom I ate? It puzzles me to this day. Wow, okay, let's change the subject now. And that was it. Okay. We'll wait to talk to them for right now. Let's explore some of these smaller buildings off to the right. Well, darn it. Everybody's going to be asleep that I want to talk to. Nope. He does not like that. Can't talk to him. I can steal from him, just can't speak to him. Now it's not going to work. There we go. Okay. Making some money on the side, as well as some experience. All in a day's work. Oh, hey, the psychic. Alright, we can talk to her. Less than 4. I don't remember her having all these last time. So you can almost get +1 to any characteristic, except for intelligence, so long as your intelligence is low enough. Interesting. Try to keep or make a few bucks off of her. Let's go and do that. In the dim-lit place, you don't immediately notice a dark-skinned, thin woman leaning over a crystal ball that's glowing from the inside. Slowly, the woman takes her gaze away from the crystal and raises her eyes full of mystery at you. She takes her time to speak. Her voice is deep and a bit husky. Another traveler dared to visit the cell of the enchantress and clairvoyant fortune-teller Sarah. Are you brave enough to learn your future, to receive a priceless advice about what you need to do to win the favor of Mistress Fortune? Or perhaps you want to purchase amazing lucky charms. I'm interested in your service, Sarah. Fortune-telling, lucky charms. As if out of thin air, the fortune-teller gets an array of strange trinkets in her hands. Her eyes are sparkling in the darkness of the room. Fortune-telling, lucky charms. Make your choice. Our whole life is a continuous choice. Tell my fortune, Gypsy. I'm curious. First, cross my palm with silver. For my fortune-telling powers are telling me you might run away without paying. It's 20 rubles. I see. Here's the money. Hand the money to Sarah, the fortune-teller. A moment later, you only blink once, and the money is gone from your hand, while the woman is already studying your palm with interest. Aye, nay, nay, handsome. You've broken hearts of so many girls and still so many to come. I see everything. Your palm is not lying. Trust me. I see. What else can you tell me? Give me another 20, Baro. Cross my palm with silver. Alright, well here's the money. Give the woman more money. What a beautiful palm. I see you'll meet your sworn enemy. You'll have a battle, but you'll be victorious. Alright. This is the last time I'm doing it. You'll have happiness and joy. It's your problem that's telling me all this. Yeah, I guess that's what it will continue to tell. Let's change the subject. The gypsy flinches and looks at you with dissatisfaction. What, you don't believe me, handsome? Don't you know that magic doesn't work on those who think and doubt too much? Not just bad magic, but good one too, by the way. I didn't mean anything like that. Instead of answering, the woman only purses her lips, offended. If you don't like the idea of learning about your future, then why don't you go to that crook who shows Lenin's mummy? He's the talk of the suburbs. It's to him that everyone comes these days. What, are you being strangled by the competition? The fortune teller nods reluctantly. If only you knew to what extent, Barrow. I can't catch my breath. Before, all people would come to me, and now travelers only visit this Danilo. Alright, maybe I could help you with it somehow. Indeed. My recent card reading wasn't in vain. The cards foretold that a kind Gajo would come and help me with my misfortune. The gypsy looks at you cunningly and comes a bit closer. You instinctively place your hands on your pockets. Listen, handsome. Call his bluff. He can't have a real mummy. I'm never going to believe that. And what are you willing to give me for it? Haven't you heard, handsome? Greed becomes an idiot's downfall. I will pay you, word of a gypsy, but first, do the job. Sure, no problem. I'll check it out. Ah, thank you, handsome. I don't really know how you're going to do it, but you are so clever. I bet you'll think of a way. Definitely. Fortune teller Sarah raises her eyes full of hope at you. Deal with my problem, handsome. Be a darling. I don't trust this crook. I want to ask about that darn... We could ask about the Curse of Darkness, which I think is a reference to the tattered journal that we found in that random encounter. This is a different guard. A young bearded member of the local militia follows you with his gaze, almost sighing for some unknown personal reasons. His assault rifle hangs from a belt, covered by camo pattern. Life of a cop has its kicks, as long as you're okay with getting up around 6. How's life in the city, if I may ask? Pretty well. Krasno is getting bigger every day. A few days ago we uncovered a pre-war building project, and the people are scrapping it for resources. This means the outskirts of the town will grow even more. What sort of interesting places can I visit in the city? There's a lot of those. A bookstore, many traders with items fit for any need. And there's a tavern, a gambling house, even a brothel. And if you're of the superstitious stock, there are even activities meant for you. What do the people gossip about? They talk about everything. Many a thing goes down in the wasteland each day. Speak to the people yourself if you're interested, comrade. I did just that. Bye. I'm kind of interested in loading this quick save. I want to talk about that other thing, then we'll just click through all the other dialogue real fast. Here we go. Listen, Sarah. Do you know anything about the curse of the blackening sky? Do you mean the prophecy? Look at the sky? Yes, that's the one. I read about it in one old journal. Yes. An old gypsy gave it to one poor passerby. I think in around 2003-ish? It all fits. Do you know anything about it? No. It's the first time I'm hearing about it. Oh, come on. You definitely know something. What should I do with you, Barrow? You're a blabbermouth. I can see you are right. I can see you are. Alright. I'll tell you what I know, but I'm warning you beforehand. I don't know much. In 2003, my relatives visited me. The whole family came, led by Aunt Pretori. We partied good the first few days. So good we ran out of money. So the old Pretori decided to make some money by her fortune telling. I continue listening in silence. Yeah, so that's how we met that weird man. No sooner did Aunt Pretori look at him than she turned pale. Later she said his aura was somewhat strange. Right above his head, high in the sky, it seemed there was a black cloud, or a sifter. And what conclusion did she come to? The gypsy shrugs. That I couldn't tell you. She, too, died in just 7 months. Sure, she was old, but not many people in her old age hide in a cellar and refuse to come out. Even fewer die with such horror on their faces. Although I wasn't there, I didn't see it myself. That's how my relative described her. Mouth open, eyes popping out of their orbits. A scary thing, Barrow. Scary and inexplicable. Right. That's right, handsome. There's no need to raise this subject. There's something wrong in this story. Something evil. Can And can I answer a couple of questions? Or could you answer? How am I misreading that? Could you answer a couple of questions? Alright then, ask your questions, traveler. But by asking them, you're also giving answers. Remember that. How do you like telling fortunes in Krasno? Ah, there's no point to make it a secret, handsome. They don't let me into the town. They suffocate me with taxes. The big cheeses in the Chamber of Commerce detest my trade. What can I do? I make money with the talents I have. I see. Can I ask you something else? I'm listening. Can I learn to foretell the future? Would you like to? I'm sorry, but this talent only passes woman to woman in my family. Strangers simply can't figure out this intricate and mysterious art. Talent, yeah, right. Can I ask you something else? Tell me about your lovely town. Ah, handsome. I wish you knew what a dark place you just called a lovely town. Krasno was built on an ancient burial ground. It's been cursed since its founding. Yeah? What curse is that? The fortune teller sighs and beckons you closer. My mother told me about it, my grandmother told her, and she heard it from my great-grandmother, and so on. The thing is, the city's founder, Count Rovsky, built it in the place where there once was an ancient dolmen. In it were the remains and bronze weapons of some ancient warriors. Locals warned the Count not to disturb the bones, but he turned out to be too hot-headed. He didn't listen to the wise old men, and built this town where he intended to. As for the dolmen, he ordered to disassemble it and move it to the capital. However, it never reached the capital. The story goes that the skeletons came alive in the carts, grabbed their swords and axes, and slaughtered all the soldiers that were transporting them. The town has been cursed ever since. Anyone who dies in it can't pass away in peace. They roam the earth like ghosts and echoes of distant memories. Wow, some stories you have. Let me ask you another question. What are the rumors in the area? I've heard that there's a fight for power in Paragon. If only any of its authorities came to me for magical help, the squabble could have been put to an end to. Okay. That's not how I would have said it. Of course. I think this was different. I'll listen to memorize, handsome. Very soon you'll face the hard times, but don't be afraid. Straight after these hardships you'll be in luck. So much luck. Ah. Alright, we've already read that one. Okay, cool. Alright, we're back on track. Let me double check. This is Daddy Longlegs. Yeah, okay. Let's see. There's only 3 buildings left. This one included. There we go. Alright. There's another way to handle this quest. I think if you go here during the day, you can just walk in and the guy will be laying in the coffin. But, yeah. The owner of the mummy has barely poured his drinking buddy. He looks rather similar to the father of the proletariat, V.I. Lenin, a glass of smelly potato moonshine when he put an end to this idyllic picture in the most unceremonious manner. Both men flinch and look at you with a mixture of fear and confusion. The ginger-bearded man is the first to come around. We're closed during the night. Leave before I call the guards. Wait a minute. So Comrade Lenin has been alive this whole time? Ah, yes, exactly. He's been alive and well this whole time. What a miracle. Now Lenin himself starts talking. It crushes your feeble hopes. Tolia, enough screwing with the guy. It's clear I'm no Lenin. Anatoly darts an angry glance at his drinking buddy, but finally he hangs his arms in dismay and waves his hand. Darn you. Alright, you busted us. But please, don't reveal the secret to our competitors. Especially not to that wench, fortune teller Sarah. I'm ready to take your secret to my grave, for a certain remuneration. Yes, I understand. Just one moment. The man starts rummaging under the table with the sarcophagus on top of it, and finally retrieves a wooden box. He sighs bitterly and gets 100 rubles from it. Here, have this. That's all we can give you. Just don't give away our secret, please. Tough luck, mate. Sooner or later, all secrets must come to light. That's how I was brought up. Hey, I'll just say I'll think about it. See you later, schemers. The disheveled man is looking at you, frowning. What else do you want? I'm telling you, come back tomorrow. Aha, we'll see. Pseudo-Lenin follows you with bothered eyes. However, this doesn't prevent him from sipping at his booze from a glass and puffing a thick cigarette. How did you end up here? It's all alcoholism and gambling debts in Trudegrad. Where are you from? Around here? Nah, anyone from around here would have been in prison for this masquerade. I'm from Trudegrad, a factory worker. And what's the reason for the party? There's no party. We're just killing time until the morning. I, for example, can't even go out properly because people might recognize me, and... Excuse me. Constant skirmishes and slave labor have turned people wild. If they learn we've swindled them, we'll be as good as dead. Have you heard anything interesting? Lennon shrugs and puffs at his cigarette. He exhales a blue cloud of smoke and answers abruptly. Nothing. Sorry. I see. Goodbye. Can I just take this stuff off the table? Nope. Okay. We can go tell the fortune teller. Let's finish exploring these buildings first. Then we can see about talking to some more people. Alright, let's go talk to the fortune teller, turn in this quest. Fortune teller Sarah raises her eyes full of hope at you. Deal with my problem, handsome? Be a darling. I don't trust this crook. You're right not to. His so-called mummy is just some drunkard. The woman throws her hands up and even jumps with excitement. Haha, I knew it. I so knew it. That's it. They're not getting to Krasno now. They won't be stomping its streets with their fat feet. You did me a real favor, handsome. A real good favor. I was happy to help. What else is there to say? Instead of an answer, fortune teller Sarah gives you a gesture to wait and runs out of her booth. Wait in confusion. Quite soon she is back with a gloating smile on her face. They won't be tricking people anymore. I made them leave. Thank you once again, handsome. I bow to the ground to you. Yeah, you've got a fierce competition here. Let's change the subject. Sure. Anything you want, my hero. I think that's it. Nope. Alright, that's it. Got a little bit of experience. Alright, well, let's talk to this fine group of people. This tall, serious-looking man is listening to the mysterious woman in white sermon. He occasionally nods to himself. Noticing you, he takes a step back. Please don't distract me. Mistress Devi Christu's sermon is very important. What's it about? World unfairness. Okay, just calm down. The tall man has immersed himself in Devi Christu's sermon. His gaze is fixed on her, leaving him oblivious to you and the world around him. The young woman dressed in white is praying in a barely audible whisper, and bowing over and over to the woman loudly lecturing in the center. Her face, however, is expressionless, as if her thoughts are someplace far away. Sensing your presence, she raises her head and addresses you in an unexpectedly flat tone. Hello, traveler. Did you come here to stop living in sin? True that. I wouldn't mind less sin in my life. Then you did the right thing coming to see our mistress, the powerful and all-merciful Devi Christu. Talk to her, hear her wisdom, absorb her holiness. What's her wisdom about? 25 words or less. Instead of answering you, the young woman presses her index finger to her lips. Talk less and listen more to what our mistress is saying. Okay. Unloved, lame. I am Princess Varna Banana Devi Christu. Thank you very much. A young woman is paying careful attention to every word and gesture of the mysterious Madame Devi Christu. She doesn't see you at all. This mustached man is listening intently to every word of the exotically dressed woman in white. A wide smile is frozen on his face. From time to time, he silently mouths the same phrases as the mysterious cult leader. Ah, what amazing wisdom and insight. Yes, yes. What's all the fuss is about? Again, not how I would have said that. Oh, could I somehow convey it with this mortal tongue? I doubt it. Please, stranger, listen to our exalted mistress Devi Christu. One day, her words might save your life. Okay. A smiling mustached man is listening to the mysterious mistress Devi Christu's sermon. He pays you no mind. The glassy, unfocused gaze of the rhythmically swaying man suddenly comes to rest on you. What are you doing, godless creature? Don't you dare listen to Mistress Devi Christu, with those sinful ears. Listen with your heart only. What is she preaching? Hush. To find out, listen closely to her wise words instead of asking foolish questions. An old cult follower is listening to the speech of a woman in white, Mistress Devi Christu, with keen interest. He pays no attention to you. Alright, let's get involved. The young woman standing in front of you is rather attractive, but there's also something repellent about her. Her troubled and restless gaze, her strange mannerisms, the unnaturally serene smile frozen to her face. As she sees you, the woman gestures with 2 fingers of her right hand, a sign you've never seen before, and lowers her head. It was not your 2 feet, but Blessed Mother Cosmos who brought you to the sainted martyr of truth, Varna Banana Devi Christu. In the name of the sitting wolf, I'll often teach lessons of utopian religious anarchy in this town, in spite of the hypocrites pushing me away. You must have heard my speech. Tell me, servant of God, did I manage to convince you that all earthly authority is false? I don't know. Somehow I haven't made up my mind yet. All you managed to say is, somehow I haven't, before your interlocutrix has finished the sentence for you. Made up your mind. But you haven't made up your mind. Is that what you're going to say, child? Your mind said it faster than your lips. But the great magician Varna knows many hidden things. Is my telepathic ability not enough to sway you to trust my worldview completely? It was clear as day how my sentence would end. A hedgehog could have guessed it. You shouldn't laugh, my friend. Hedgehogs are natural-born yogis. Have you seen the balls they roll into? And how I've shifted your attention from the essence of the complaint? The unusual woman turns to the public. Dear friends, Varna Banana, miracle worker and fortune teller, is leaving to enlighten Otranoye village. Thank you. Thank you for your faith in me. With a commanding gesture, she summons her associates, and they all leave together. Yeah, what strange people. Alright, I wasn't being aggressive enough there, I think. What you have to do is continuously question her faith. I mean, you could probably do it a different way, but last time I did it where I kept questioning her, it should still pan out the same. You're still staring after these 5 when a surprisingly well-dressed man with a clean haircut approaches you. He stands next to you and places his hands akimbo on his hips. Did you see that? That's the sort of people who are roaming the wasteland these days. Yeah. Oh, the times. Oh, the morals. You know what? No, they're just common people. No worse than most. No, let's do number 4. I'm sorry, I'm indecisive. Squint your eyes at the man. Right. And who are you? Oh, how impolite of me. I wanted to offer you a job. An opportunity to make some money. But I completely forgot to introduce myself. The man turns and gives you a big smile. My name is Igor, and I represent a scientific charity called Mycelium. Mycelium? Myconids. No, this is Mycelium. Sorry. I get the pronunciations mixed up because in D&D, the Myconids, or the mushroom people, it's a hard C, but it's Mycelium. Or as our friends nicknamed us, the Mushroom Cult. We, however, are anything but a cult. You mentioned the opportunity to make some money. What is it you need me to do? The man comes closer to you. Unlike most wasteland dwellers, he doesn't stink of body odor, alcohol, or any other even more unpleasant substances. He only smells of clean clothes and a bit of road dust. Continue. Or, I don't know why I read that. The thing is, I've been following the activities of this so-called Devi Christu for a long time. The conclusions I've drawn are rather grim. We're dealing with the leader of a potentially very dangerous cult. Ha, are you afraid of the competition? No, it's not like that. We're nothing like these charlatans. Devi Christu is lying to people and pretending to be a goddess or a prophet. We don't even touch upon such subjects. Science and humanism are paramount to us. Alright, so what is it? What is, sorry. A lot of little typos. Alright, so what is it you want from me? There we go. You look like someone who knows how to behave in the wasteland. So, I'd like to offer you to follow these cult members for a while, to find out whether they are really dangerous. Before you say anything else, what am I going to get for it? Money. Items needed for your further journey. Food. Anything you want. It will depend on the results of your investigation. Alright, you convinced me. How exactly should I be following them? As far as I know, Devi Christu and her disciples are on a small tour around the wasteland. She's determined to find some new poor souls who would believe her dubious sermons. Right now, they're on their way to a small village of Ultranoye. Intercept her there, or learn about their future plans. Alright, I'll try to do that. Great. Once you've gathered enough information, come back to me. Anyway, if you have any questions about our organization, don't hesitate either. Just approach me. I'm nearly always standing here, in the suburb of Krasno. We'll see. Maybe I will approach you. A member of the mushroom cult Igor is waving to you. He's dressed in a clean shirt and a knitted waistcoat. The man's whole attire is in soft, light tones. A curious expression is frozen on his face. Hello. I'm glad to see you again. I'd like to ask you a couple of personal questions. I'm an open book, friend. Tell me a bit about yourself, Igor. Before I became a member of the Mycelium Society, I was a merchant. I sold weapons, provisions, alcohol, and tobacco. All sorts of goods, in fact. Until a series of unfortunate events happened to me. My caravans were raided, and I lost several very important contracts. If it weren't for the good people who advised me to join the Mycelium, I don't know where I would be right now. I'm afraid to even think about it. So that's how it is. That's curious. Well, can I ask you another question? The man smiles amicably and nods. What do you think about Krasno? Before the war, this town was small and not particularly important, and now it thrives. It's amazing how it happens. Such a horrible catastrophe gave new lease on life to the seemingly backwater rural area. Life can really surprise you sometimes. Can I ask you something else? Does your movement have a lot of followers? Plenty, and each week there are more of them. Naturally, the Mycelium has enemies. People tend to fear and dislike something they don't understand, but it's alright. We're still going to work for the benefit of the whole humankind. That's a commendable stand. Can I ask you something else? What are the rumors in the area? They say that the dwellers of Ultranoye village suffer under the oppression of a criminal boss, nicknamed Dan. This is very sad, and I'm hoping they'll be able to somehow get out of this unpleasant situation. Fingers crossed. Could you please tell me a bit about your cult scientific society? Oh, with pleasure. What would you like to know? 4 principles on which our ideology is based, or perhaps the history of our society. Tell me about the 4 principles. With pleasure. These are the unity principle, the modesty principle, the love principle, and the life principle. Which one are you interested in? The unity principle. All of us, people, regardless of our differences, must feel like we're part of a single organism, the humankind. Just like different body parts don't fight between themselves, the same way we must discard our lowly disagreements that have almost destroyed us, and move as one towards the development. Tell me about the modesty principle. When you find yourself on top, don't be proud or ashamed. On the contrary, help the people around you to reach your level. Help the weak become stronger, and don't exploit the weakness. Only moving as one, like that, can we achieve the development. Tell me about the love principle. Help the people around you, not out of vanity or pride. Help others as you would help yourself. Love the humankind, and through that, love yourself. Only moving as one like that can we achieve the development. Tell me about the life principle. Let your death not frighten you, as death of one is not a threat to the whole. Instead, Be afraid of the deaths of other people, as that's what kills the whole. Let me ask you something else instead. Tell me about the history of your organization. The Mycelium Society was created by a group of scientists from faraway lands, back at the dawn of the new time. They founded the Unity House in one of the abandoned buildings of Krasno, after which they left us. Sometimes they visit us, but I think they are guided by some great plan, the detail of which I haven't been told yet. Nevertheless, I believe that one day we will all understand it. I'm looking forward to that moment with all my heart. What does your organization do here, in brief? Guided by the modesty principle, we're doing a lot of charity work. We aid the helpless, feed the hungry, give the disadvantaged a roof over their heads. And of course, we enlighten people about the greatness of the path to development. You've mentioned some Unity House. Or go on, tell me about this development path. The development path is the path of the whole humankind, as a unified, immortal organism. Immortal not because nothing can kill it, but because it isn't killing itself. Sorry, I had to take a sip of my coffee. My throat's once again giving me trouble. Of course. One moment. I think I need a vacation. Oh. Sorry about that. The development path is the everlasting strive for the eternity that has always guided the humankind. It is the power that makes us reach for the stars, and further on, into the unknown. The development path is an insane dream, but I saw the furious get humble in the cruel cry. I know that this dream is not that insane after all. I have faith. You've mentioned some Unity House. That's what we call our headquarters. We don't call it that often as it sounds a bit long. The Unity House is situated in an old scientific research institute in the center of Krasno, across the Chamber of Commerce. Alright, could I ask you something else? How can I join your ranks? The man throws his hands up and leans forward. I'm so pleased to hear these words. Nothing could be simpler. You need to go to our headquarters in the center of Krasno. It's next to the Chamber of Commerce. Tell the guard at the door that you were sent by the friend of the society, Igor. I'm sure you'll love our place. A common cause, improving life in the wasteland. What could be better than feeling unity with other people? Nothing, I believe. Well, that's an interesting information. Perhaps I'll pay you a visit. Okay, we're done here. Whew, sorry, my throat once again. So much talking lately. I haven't had a chance to recover. Alright, I think I'm going to call the episode here. In the next one, we will rest. Well, let me go and wait till day. Might as well just wait for rest for 12 hours, I think. Alright, I'm going to call it here. In the next episode, we will speak to the other people around the suburbs. Now that people are out and about and walking around. And that's what we'll spend the entirety of the next episode doing, I think. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys in the next one.